encounter adventures and memorable events. Making the most of these events is key, because these adventures create milestones in our lives, and what better way to document these milestones than through books? Milestones, big or small, but they all hold a special place in our hearts. The accomplishments may be personal, such as graduating from school or getting a promotion at work, or they may be shared with others, such as getting married or even having a child. These books can serve as a reminder of the hard work and dedication that went into reaching that goal. They can capture the memories and emotions associated with it, and they can be cherished for years to come. No matter what the milestone is, capture it in a book.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Legacy Builders Live. I'm your host, C. Ruth Taylor, CEO of BambuSparks. And today we are having what we hope to be the first in a series of events where we are showcasing our BambuSparks bestselling authors who are building Caribbean legacy. We want you to tell us where you're joining from and to share this link with your friends, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Tell us where you're joining from. It is an amazing Sunday here in Jamaica. Not too hot, thank God. And we have three living legends in the building today. Different fields. We have law, we have cooking and social media, and we also have banking and finance. But what these three legends have in common is that they are authors and they are doing well and they are remarkable. They have achieved remarkable things in their industry. And they are saying, I am not going to die with my story. They're saying, I am going to inspire the next generation. I'm going to leave a mark on history with my book so that people will know that I was here. And so that even after they've gone, the legacy will live on. The great Marcus Garvey says, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And we want to give people roots so that they can grow 90 feet tall. And that's what our authors are doing. So welcome, 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 welcome. We're going to also have a time where they're just sharing their stories, an interview. We're also going to be asking questions, giving you opportunity to ask questions. So we're going to open the floor. So if you've ever wanted to meet Chef Ricardo, here's the chance to meet him and ask questions. If you've ever wanted to meet Linley Reynolds and learn more about his book, today is the day. If you've ever wanted to meet Mr. AJ Nicholson, if you grew up with them, tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your friend, and let's do this. If you're hearing me, let me know loud and clear. It seems so. And let us know where you're joining from. So let me introduce our guests and get into the show. I'm going to start off with Mr. Nicholson. As Jamaica's Attorney General from 1995 to 2007, Mr. Arnold Joseph, that's what the J is for, Nicholson, served as Deputy Chairman of the Preparatory Committee for the establishment of the Caribbean Court of Justice, set in place at the 12th meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government held at Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago, July 4 to 7 in 1999. He was Jamaica's Justice Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, having served both in the lower and upper houses of Parliament in Jamaica between 1989 and 2016. And then I'm going to give you the profile of Chef Ricardo. Chef Ricardo is a Jamaican author, award-winning chef, and gold plaque YouTuber with 1.7 million subscribers on his main YouTube channel. With over 20 years of experience in the kitchen at various levels, Chef Ricardo has successfully taken his love for food and the kitchen to a global audience through his digital platforms. Chef Ricardo now lives in the United Kingdom, where he continues to use his palette and voice to inspire and encourage others. He believes that through passion, hard work, and consistency, all your dreams can be achieved. And then finally, I'm going to introduce to you Linley Reynolds. This is the money man. And 1 second, let me bring up his picture. All right. Mr. Linley Reynolds is the third of 5 children, with all his siblings being girls. He was born in London, England, and at an early age, the family returned to Jamaica and resided in Westmoreland. He was an energetic boy who enjoyed the rustic outdoor living while growing up. 1 second there. He attended Monroe College, a premier boys' school in the cool hills of St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. He worked at the Bank of Nova Scotia Limited for over 37 years and rose to the level of assistant general manager. He studied banking and finance and is currently a consultant in banking and finance. And he loves to tell me that he's happily married to Diana for over 30 years. Happily married. He puts the emphasis on happily married. Welcome to the stage, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be here. I'm in the presence of greatness. And thank you for choosing BambuSparks to publish your legacy books. So let's start with Mr. Nicholson, our senior statesman.
All right.
Yes, tell us, where are you from in Jamaica and what's your favorite thing about Jamaica?
Well, I'm from the cool hills of Clarendon. I'm not from the exotic places like St. Anne, Chef, and Westmoreland with Nick Grill and all those wonderful places. But my country place is a place called Rock River. Some people say that Rock River is a place that you come from, not a place that you go to. But I can tell you that that is not true. When I say I'm from the cool hills of Clarendon, what I like about Jamaica really is the weather. You don't have to fret about any really cold or hot in Jamaica. Everything is just cool and nice. Now that is something very good as far as I'm concerned, because it takes one of the frustrations off of you. You don't have to worry about overcoat or fan and all of these things. That is what I like about Jamaica, among other things, of course. But this is my home, and even though I've traveled a lot, I love Jamaica.
Wow, I feel like you're throwing words on Chef, you know.
No, I can't throw word on Chef because I studied in England, so I can't throw word on Chef. As a matter of fact, Linley should know that I did some banking in England too. So you see, Chef, I am with you in London. London, you are, or Manchester, or where?
I'm in South London, so I'm in Croydon side.
Well, there you go, right in the place. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nichols. Let's go over to Chef, since you're in the hot seat. Where are you from in Jamaica, and what's your favorite thing about Jamaica?
Well, you know what happened? I'm gonna just hit it right on the nail. You know, I'm a country boy now. Yes, I'm a country boy. I born and grew up in St. Anne, but 95, I would say yes. Grew up in London, in St. Anne, between St. Anne and Boscobel and Ocherias. So that's where my, surrounding is. But the beautiful thing about Jamaica, as I mentioned before, the weather is one of the most beautiful things you could ever think of Jamaica. Also, the food is good. And I mean, grew up in Jamaica around your family, your grandma, which is be there from, I mean. She's gonna give you the whole time school cooking, which I mean, that's what I'd love to have right now. Like some proper whole good rundown roast breadfruit and saltfish, and roast yam and some soup. So the beautiful thing about Jamaica, to be honest with you, the weather, the beach, the food, the atmosphere, and the beautiful thing again, Jamaican people love God.
Ah.
As part of what's going on. We got a lot of church still in Jamaica, and we love that. But I'm a old country boy, grew up in St. Anne, and yeah, I love it. And the food, everything is just amazing. I love Jamaica. Hopefully,
Love
I will
it.
come and see you soon.
Yes, you need to come. I love how this is segueing, because you talk about Love Church.
Yes.
Linley is one of the elders in my church denomination.
Is it?
So it's a nice way to segue, and you three have stuff in common.
Definitely.
Living in London, all three of you, one from London, and so Linley, we have perfectly segued to your part. Where did you grow up in Jamaica? I can't say where you're from in Jamaica. And what's your favorite thing about Jamaica?
Right. Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for having me, Ruth. It's a sheer delight and joy to be on the program this afternoon. Right. So I grew up in Savannah and the Grange Hill and the Negril in Westmoreland. Right. My grandparents, my maternal grandparents, they lived in Grange Hill. My mom's dad lived, and father as well, lived in Negril Hills. And we had family in Savannah. So we moved from one location to the other, which was fun in those days. Really enjoyed it, going to the beach in Negril. That was lovely. Riding the bicycle on Great George's Street. That was lovely. Riding the bicycle in Grange Hill as well. Watching the farmers, the sugarcane process, where the canes were burnt, where they were cut and hauled to the factory. That was very exciting for me. What do I like about Jamaica? Jamaica is the cultural capital of the world. You enjoy excellent gastronomical delights here. I love it. I hear Chef talking about rundown. Yes. I enjoy that as well. It's a little nation with a big heart. We think we must dominate at all times, and I love that. I like the spirit of our people, wanting to be the best at all times. There's so many things I like about Jamaica. Indeed, the weather is common for all of us, because the truth be told, Chef, I don't have to look for any long johns to put on, I can go about the place with minimal amount of clothing and feeling comfortable, right, AJ? Right? Yeah, Jamaica is just a lovely place. It's one of the ideal locations of the world where just about any and everybody wants to come. And you know what? It is amazing when you travel and persons ask you where you're from, and you tell them Jamaica. They all have something to say about Jamaica, because just about everybody knows a little about this little country. But it's a large world state in its own right.
Love it. As I said, we're little, but we're
Talawa.
I'm looking forward to doing great things in the Olympics in a couple.
Absolutely.
Yes, in a couple of weeks. All right. So let's talk about you. I can hear the passion about Jamaica, and you know, even though you're living overseas and loving the weather. My niece says that the weather in London is schizophrenic because it can be sunny one moment, then, you know, cold another.
One, definitely.
And that's the part, since she left Jamaica, she doesn't like. So we have something else in common. My sister lives in London with my niece. So, you know, the diaspora. Wow. All right. So let's start with your book, Mr. Nicholson.
Yes.
The Roadblock, Jamaica's Resistance to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Why did you feel that you need to write this book? I know you played a role in creating the Caribbean Court of Justice, but put it in context for us. Why document this?
Well, all right. Let us understand what the book is all about.
Yes.
As Linley is part of our church life in Jamaica, we are a Christian country, so I can use a story from the Bible to illustrate what I'm dealing with in this book. We all remember when we were going to Sunday school, we learned about this woman distraught. She had given birth to her little baby. And the baby, there was a real issue as to whether the baby was hers. And another woman was saying, no, the baby is not mine. It's not yours, it's mine. And the other woman said, well, since we can't find out, we can't decide who really is this, who owns this baby. Let us cut the baby in half. You take a half, and I take a half. The matter reached before the highest court in the land, was before Solomon's court, King Solomon the wise. And how did he find out the truth? He asked both of them some questions, and the mother, the real mother, said, I tell you what, my lord, give the child to the other woman. Don't let the child be cut in half. And Solomon decided that the child belonged to that woman. Now, if that woman had not got a chance to reach before the highest court, that is before Solomon's court, we don't know what would have happened. Let us extrapolate that to what is happening in Jamaica. In Jamaica, we have a highest court, a final court, but that court is in London. The woman in the Bible, she got a chance. She was lucky. She got a chance. If you don't get an access to the court, you don't have a chance. You have to have a ticket, is access to the court, an opportunity to go before the court. In Jamaica, only a few people, a few individuals, rich people, can really go to the highest court in England. And that has been so for almost 200 years. Now, we have constructed a court here in the Caribbean. Jamaica was a part of the construction of that court, paid money. And that court, the Caribbean Court of Justice, is well esteemed, recognized right across the world. It is globally esteemed. Therefore, Jamaica is allowing this significant initiative to pass us by. I had to write the book because you, Ruth, used the example of Marcus Garvey a while ago. If Marcus was alive, what would he be saying to us today? If Bogle was alive, what would he be saying to us today? If George William Gordon, Nanny, Sam Sharp, if they were alive, what would they be saying to us today? You have a chance to go to this court, and you are the 9 persons in Jamaica. The good thing about the Caribbean Court is that the judges will come to Jamaica to hear the case that comes from Jamaica. That's a good thing, so that persons in Jamaica would have access to the court. Finally, there are 12 British Caribbean countries, independent. 5 have already become a part of that court, fully a part of that court. Guyana, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Lucia. Not one of them has any problem or issue with the court. So we have the example of 5 having joined the court, moving away from the Privy Council. And the only set of persons who have any problem criticizing with the court come from countries that have not joined the court. How odd. So I had to get that done because I had to get that written because that's the best evidence. 50 years' time, 75 years' time, 100 years' time, persons must know, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they must know what was the position of Jamaica in moving towards this significant change in the Caribbean. What was the position at that time? This book had to be written.
Wow. Message.
And the third says, amen.
Man, that is a powerful message.
Yeah, well, you expect that from a lawyer to present his case well. And I think he just sold us over because only the wealthy and the wicked have access.
And his wife said to me, he's a Baptist, so he's going to give you the whole 9 yards.
And he just did. And Thelma Porter, who is a broadcaster, and she is saying this is shaping up to be an engaging conversation, but she has to leave for church, but she will catch the recording.
Wow.
But wow, I think the example that you gave there was really helpful. So if these 2 women did not have access to King Solomon, the highest court, chances are justice would not be served. But I could hear, I'm not going to take the evening to debate it, I could hear Vybz Kartel and his team saying that if they did not have access to the Privy Council, maybe they would not have a chance to, get the attention that they're getting now with a possible mistrial, retrial, you name it, going on.
No, with respect.
No, let me ask the question in a sense. I'm playing a little devil's advocate here. Do you think if the case had gone to the Caribbean Court of Justice that they would have gotten a similar result? Because I think that is part of the issue, because we often tend to think things that are Caribbean are inferior and things that are outside the Caribbean are better. So do you think going to the Caribbean Court of Justice versus the Privy Council, they could have gotten a similar result like they got the other day?
In London.
In London, yes.
Respectfully, those who hold that position, they have not been following the narrative. After the case was decided in England, you will recall that former Prime Minister Patterson and Hugh Small, they came up with a case that was tried and heard here in Jamaica and decided by our Court of Appeal, which told the exact story of what the court in England said. The exact thing. Now, that case was not brought to the attention of the judges in the Court of Appeal in Jamaica. There is no doubt that that case would have been brought to the final court in the Caribbean Court of Justice. There's no doubt that that would have happened. It was brought to the attention by Patterson and Small. Therefore, with the grace of respect, the outcome would have been the same, but it would have cost Vybz Kartel much, much less.
Wow. Wow.
So
You would have saved millions. And the government would have saved millions. You see the headline in today's Gleaner? The government, oh yes, the government had to pay something almost $40 million,
Wow.
Jamaican dollars, almost $40 million to
That's
have
two poor
lawyers
people
in
house.
to try the case.
That's right. Yes, there's two people house.
There you go.
So we can be confident in the Caribbean Court of Justice if we choose to go there, that justice will be served by our Caribbean counterparts, no less than the esteemed counterparts in England with the Privy Council.
That's right.
And you're saying
internationally, the Caribbean Court of Justice is fully esteemed.
Fully esteemed.
Fully esteemed.
In fact, was it the chairman or someone from it was even invited to sit on the Privy Council, and he said no.
Yes, a former president of the
president.
Indeed.
Right.
Yes.
So if you didn't know, now you know. You can have confidence, and hopefully this discussion this evening will help to move the needle along in moving the roadblock so that we can have our people in our region with our court.
That's right.
Wow.
Right. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Mr. Nicholson. Show him some love. Those on YouTube.
Well done for the message.
Yeah, put some comment in the chat. The book is written in easy to read language. So don't think that if you're a lay person on the street that you need to be a lawyer to understand this book. I read it and I was able to grasp the concept, and I am so happy that you've written this. It not only captures the history of the Caribbean Court of Justice, but Jamaica. You learn so many things from it. And one of our former Prime Minister, the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson, said, this timely publication provides a historical narrative which sets out a compelling case to complete without further delay our full sovereignty and the incongruence of the Privy Council to remain as the ultimate source of legal decision-making when litigants are entitled, as of right and financial substance, to have direct access to a court based in the United Kingdom. As an outstanding advocate himself, he says Nicholson sets out a compelling case to answer for we want justice now.
Wow.
Wow. Well done, sir. Well done. You presented your case.
Well done. Blessings.
Respect, Linley. Respect.
Well done.
Let's go over to Chef. Your book is Mr. Nicholson's book is both a memoir and it's legal heritage, legal history. Your book is a memoir, and it has to do with your own field of expertise. So many people thought that this book would just be a recipe book, but it says here, Chef Ricardo's secret recipes to success from poverty to purpose.
Yes.
Why did you write this book? Tell us the story behind this book that has gotten 113 4- and 5-star rating. Talk to us, Chef.
Well, as you can see, the book was it was an interview on this book. I have it in my mind for a very long time that I want to write something like this. Was an interview done? The interview was done, but the story behind the book is where I'm coming from to where I am at this moment. And the message which I was sending out is to let anyone right now who in Jamaica, in the world, wherever you are, listening, knowing that someone who was born in poverty can turn out to something better in life. Yes, we all know that the blessing of the Lord is with us. But the book itself, the reason why the book is written is to show and to help others, to let them know that, listen, no matter who you are, your life can also change. Yes, a lot of people, as I say in it, that you think was a recipe book, but it wasn't a recipe book. It's from poverty to purpose, from Chef Ricardo's secret recipe to success. So you can see the name can tell you what is all about with the book. Anyway, the book is dedicated to my grandmother. My grandmother, Miss Dati, she used to cook a lot of food all the time. And, growing around my grandmother, I learned a lot from her. And, with the cooking, and I take that knowledge, and this is what I do. I invest it into myself, and this is where I am today. Could able to do the YouTube channel, get this book done, and get many more things done, and trying to help many more people in the world to be successful also. But the story, as I said before, behind it is to help others to say, listen, anywhere you are in this world, a book like this to encourage you, to tell you, listen, your life you can also write a book, you can also write your story, you can also do something and be successful in life. And in the book, you can see there's a lot of things behind it with my grandmother and myself, because my grandmother, she used to love cook, and I never forget this. One day she was cooking, and that pot turned over upon me. Because, in Jamaica, they have this hood kitchen outside, and she was cooking, and that soup turned over on me and said, "Son, you're going to be a cook one day and chef," and that's it today. And yeah, it was just amazing to know that what she was saying, it happening today. And not only that, as having that all kind of cooking, but all over the years, cooking coming down now, I start to change my cooking style and start to go a little bit even more healthier with cooking, to let others know that, listen, yeah, you can live a certain kind of life, but live a healthy life. Especially we Jamaican, we love our food, but we can also health a little bit more healthier, eat a natural food with the vegetables and all bits and pieces. But the book itself is to tell the world that no matter where you're coming from, poverty, you can, from Chef Ricardo secret recipes, from success, from poverty to purpose. And that's where the book is at the moment. Very good book. And as I said, my grandmother teach me a lot when I was growing up, because I can remember when in Jamaica, when I was growing up among her, she used to get in these inside of these pig and put it over the fireside and roast it, and roast the cow skin, go to the field and get the red kidney bean and the gungo peas, and come back home and make gungo soup and all of these things. So in the back of the book, it got a few recipe of the Jamaican rum fruit cake, and a few recipes to encourage the audience, them seeing where that, listen, there's a few recipes also. But as I say, this was dedicated for my grandmother, and for myself, as I say, it is just from poverty to purpose, and to help others, to tell them, listen, no matter where you are and no matter where you're coming from, trust me, never give up, keep the faith, and you can do the same thing like what Chef Ricardo has done.
I love it, Chef. I love it. I love it. I love it. There are things that we consider to be liabilities. So here is a young boy. You didn't tell folks, but you lost your parents at an early age.
Yes,
Here
definitely.
is a young boy growing up with his grandmother in St. Anne in what we call poverty. You have the outdoor kitchen. She's being creative, cooking up these things, influencing you. And it is the very same thing that some of us would look down on. That is now responsible for, as giving you a platform for success.
Definitely.
And you're not ashamed of where you're coming from. I am
no.
When I listen to you, because I can relate. I used to be ashamed to tell people that we had the outside toilet and the outside kitchen and some of those things. I wanted to distance myself from it. But here is Chef saying, listen, this is where I come from. I am proud of it.
Definitely.
And it's about my grandmother. And many of us have that kind of history, lessons from our grandparents and things that we too can turn into stories.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit more about your background in terms of losing your parents and some of the struggles you had and how you kind of made it big in a nutshell, summarize it,
Yeah.
how did you get here? Just,
Yeah.
just fast track us on that journey.
Yeah. As you mentioned, I lost my mom and my dad when I was young. And I grew up with my grandmother, and also in St. Anne. I used to work in the hotel named Sandcastle Hotel in Old. So I worked there for a period of time, and when I was there, I used to be washing the pot. Washing pot for many years, cleaning the floor, mopping, doing all bits and pieces in the hotel. And then after I get a little bit of chance to be a chef in the kitchen, a range chef. I think I still got my badge. See how we're up till today, range chef. And yeah, and then after I get the chance and the opportunity to come over to London, and when I come to London, I start back over again, start to wash the plate, start to clean the floor, start to before I could even be a chef. So then after they give me a salad chef in London. So I leave Jamaica, come to London, start over again. But that's all I want to say to you. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, and no matter who you are, wherever you are in this world, trust me, once you dedicate yourself to something, you will be successful in life. And I will tell anybody, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You just have to be positive and strong in yourself and dedicate yourself and say, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to move it with it through my life. So I tell myself, okay, I come to London and I start over again, start to wash plate, clean the kitchen, and then I start to being a chef after, like, looking after salad. And then after I come a head chef, start to be a head chef cooking for 800 kids in the school. After 800 kids, get rid of the the schoolwork. Then I start to work in the airport, Gatwick Airport. I worked there for a few years doing aircraft, and then after a few aircraft, I was doing my YouTube channel in between. And then after I was doing my YouTube channel in between, things that just start to change, and a blessing start to come in more and more. And I was like, oh yeah, thank you, Lord, for what the Lord was doing for me. So working in the airport, working in the school, and also I work in the ambulance service over here in London also. But the full message about myself, and I like to let the world, anyone who are listening, to let them know that, if wherever you are, trust me, you can always make it, no matter where you're coming from. Just be positive in yourself, and and be real with yourself, and trust me, you can reach to that point where you want to reach, because I prove it for myself by leaving Jamaica, cleaning the kitchen, mopping the floor, come to London, do the same thing over again, and then here I am today as a very successful person in life, and I'm giving God thanks for that.
I love it. Can you give it up for Chef Ricardo?
All right.
Excellent.
Hard working, and give it up
Pays
for Miss
off.
Dottie. Is Miss Dottie still alive, Chef?
No, she passed away. She
Oh,
passed away.
but guess
Our
what?
soul rest in peace. Yeah.
But guess what? Her legacy lives on.
On. That's the goal. That's the goal.
But
And
Ruth,
yes,
he grew up in one of the most picturesque places in all of Jamaica, all of the world, between
Absolutely.
Boscobel and Oterios.
yes,
It is just sheer heaven.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Boscobel used to be a beautiful place, right at the air,
Yes,
that deep corner at the air before you reach the airport,
you got it.
right on the seaside. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Very beautiful.
All right.
Wow.
If you have any questions, I'm going to ask you to pose those questions, because we're going to take our final guest to hear his take and learn more about his book. So, Chef has used such a simple, regular situation and turned it into his favor. This is what Thelma is saying. Many need to understand that your own common situation can give you access to a fulfilled life. Wow, wow,
Wow.
wow, wow. As I read that,
Wow.
goosebumps to start take me over, you know.
Thank you so much.
And she says this again, yay for grandmothers. I was raised by mine. What a legacy she has allowed you to have, Chef. And she prophesied over you. Look at
Wow,
you
thank you
today.
so much.
And her name will not be forgotten because you put it in this book.
Definitely. Wow.
Thank you. On behalf of
Wow.
Miss Dottie, thank you very much, Chef.
Oh,
for
you're
writing
welcome.
this book.
Wow.
All right. So we are going to our final guest. We're doing well on time. And Mr. Linley Reynolds, the name of your book is intriguing. I don't know how you move from banking to writing poetry. You know. This don't
Very
make no
talented.
sense. Mango time, pudding, and
Amazing.
something more. Poetic reflections on life in Western Jamaica. Tell us
Wow.
about this book and why did you write this intriguing, interesting book? Take it away, Linley.
Thanks, Ruth. You know, a number of persons asked the question, banking to author. What a lot of persons do not know is that in banking, you have to do, at a certain level, you do a lot of writing. And I surely did that. Yeah. So writing was something that I grew accustomed to over those many years in banking. And me translating it or taking it out of banking and using it to author this book, was almost a seamless transition, if you ask me. So, Chef Ricardo, I heard you saying that the book you wrote is a tribute to your grandmom. My book is a tribute to my mom. My mom passed on the 17th of January 2023, 15 months now, thereabout. And on her death, I started to reflect on life, started to reflect on mom, started to reflect on our growing up. And during that period, I started to capture my thoughts on paper. And I wrote a poem, and everybody in my family liked it. And then one poem led to another and another. A sister of mine said, well, Linley, if you can write 30 poems, we can publish. She did not know that that too was a motivation for me. So I continued to write. And within 6 months, or less than 6 months after my mom's passing, we had 54 pieces. And consequently, we have mango time, pudding, and something more. I hear Chef Ricardo speaking, and yourself, Ruth, and you saying that you were a little, you were ashamed to tell people about the outside toilet. Listen, I don't think any of us would have escaped that experience, and I'm sure I'm speaking for AJ as well.
Oh, yes.
You know, so it is part of who we are.
That's right.
It is what has made us.
Yeah.
Even the kitchen that was outside and apart from the house. Yeah. Even the wood fire, because I remember the wood fire. Again, this is my grandmother, for example, doing or making pudding, corn pudding, potato pudding. We said hella top, hella bottom,
Yes, hallelujah in the middle.
hallelujah in the middle. Mm? So my book speaks about pudding. My book speaks about mango time. My book speaks about growing up in the country, riding the donkey kick you off, and guess what? Them say, just give him some sugar and water, man. He'll be fine. you know, so it captures those nuggets, in life that nowadays a lot of our children do not experience. And if we don't capture these things, how will they know about how we lived, how we grew up? A lot of us came from poor families, and guess what? We did not even know that we were poor, because within the board walls of the house, we were happy. Yes. And we had space to run up and down as children. We had space to interact with others, to socialize with family members and friends. We had family members who also were there to mentor us and to encourage and to motivate us. So the book captures all of that in poetic form. And from my perspective, I think it's an excellent read, and I encourage everybody to get a copy, read it, and be transported back into the 60s and 70s when life was very different, when Christmas time was different, when independence was different, when as children we played marbles, we made gigs, we played gigs. Nowadays, I see some children flying kite, but guess what? Those kite is what we would call in those days ready-made, right? They did not have they do not have the experience of cutting their bamboo strips, getting their English cord, getting their kite paper and making the beige or the star kite, and to fly it themselves. It's a different sense of accomplishment when you can take it from beginning through to the end. And it is capturing all of these things, Ruth, and for our youngsters to understand what life was in those days. So I hope I've given a little insight in Mango Time Pudding and something more.
Wow.
Well, we want something more. Well done.
All
We
right.
need to
Wow.
read one of those poems first because you've whet our appetite. A friend of mine, my favorite Guyanese author, he says that poetry is storytelling captured in this form.
Yes.
So, and it's all about the story. So, since you've whet our appetite, and there may be others thinking like this, can you read one of the poems for us? Is there a poem in the book called Mango Time?
Yes, there is a
Please.
poem called Mango Time. I was staying away from that one because it was a little lengthy. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I,
read one of them for us.
I will be reading one titled 15 Minutes. And just a little background to 15 Minutes. We lived in Cologne, which is near White House in Westmoreland. And my mom was the principal of the primary school, New Hope Primary School there. And every morning she went to the beach for a quick swim. So the poem is titled 15 Minutes. So let me proceed. 15 minutes swim in the Caribbean Sea was all I needed with my tea. Accompanied by my canine deer, was one of a kind, oh so rare. 15 minutes swim in the Caribbean Sea. That's all I asked, was my plea. White and spotted was his hue. His own objective was the blue. 15 minutes swim in the Caribbean Sea was for two and not for three. The freshness of the water was so calming, causing anticipation, the new day's dawning. 15 minutes swim in the Caribbean Sea. Look beyond. What did I see? A ship sailing on the silvery horizon, a fisherman's boat of little comparison. Either vision of peaceful view reminded me there's work to do. 15 minutes swim in the Caribbean Sea. Not much longer can I stay. Students all are on their way. Restraining my desire, my focus is now on the higher. Parents to meet, students to greet, minds so bright. Help me, Lord, to shed some light. 15 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
I hear you,
Some love in
sir.
the chat. If you like that poem, show him
Yeah.
some love.
That's
And I'm
right.
putting the links to get the books on Amazon. So Janet Morgan is saying, let me bring up her comment. She's saying, this chat is as intriguing as it is captivating. I love it. Well done, Ruth, for bringing these authors together. Their stories are inspiring. And that's
Excellent.
exactly what we want to do. We want to inspire you, to light a spark that you will go write. And not just write, because books open doors and it gives you a platform to speak. So somebody may never buy your book, or one person buy the book, but the platform that the book provides can give you access to speak to millions, because Chef Ricardo is here with his millions of followers. This is giving us a chance to get the message to the masses,
Definitely.
even if they do not buy the book. And I want to thank you, Chef. I want to thank you, Mr. Nicholson. I want to thank you, Linley. This chat, this conversation has just, I'm not gonna cry, but it has just, cemented why I'm on this journey and why I stick with the publishing despite the challenges. So before we get some questions, why would you encourage others to write? What does legacy mean to you? Talk to us about that. Each of you is gonna give you a minute. Encourage somebody. Why should they write? And what does legacy mean?
Ruth, if I may quickly jump in.
Yes.
When you write, you document your story, you document your experience, and it is embedded in a wider, broader, bigger story. For example, history, our history, the history of our nation, Jamaica, right? It is to pass on information from one generation to another.
Yeah.
Right? It replicates what the Bible says in Deuteronomy 6, verse 7. To diligently teach your children, penetrating their hearts with truths. Ruth, we live in an era now where our children are fed with half truths and lies. And we who know the truth, we need to share it with them. So I want to encourage others to write. And what does the term legacy builder mean to me? Legacy, from my perspective, refers to us having something to pass on from one generation, something of value, passing it on from one generation to another. So as we think legacy builder, we think of passing on that valuable thing in a structured manner that it is accessible, that it can be utilized by generations now and generations to come.
Definitely.
That's how I see it.
Definitely.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Nicholson,
yes.
go ahead.
Yes.
I think you licked it. You licked the nail. Oh my God! You licked the
Lick
nail
the
on the
ball.
head.
Nail on the head.
Man, lick it for
Right away.
six.
But
Six.
I will say, you know what? That legacy is to pass on from generation to generation. Even anyone who are listening right now, we want to encourage you. Right. Please do it. It's one of the best things you could ever do in your life. And not only that, when you pass on the legacy, you're gonna feel good to know that you've done something, and at least you know that something is out there for someone to learn and to understand something also. So right, I don't even have to go any further because the art already done hitting, say pass on the legacy to the next generation, even your kids and your kids generation, go on and on. There is something always left there. I don't even have to go any further. Him already done have it.
So before you go, Mr. Nicholson,
Yes.
some people don't like writing, and Chef, I don't think this is a secret. So some of you don't have to write the story yourself. So you can tell it to somebody who will write it. And Chef,
one of the first. I don't cut you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, just like my story.
Yes.
My story is an example because it was an interview and it turned into a book. Yes. You guys have something out there want to turn into a book. A lot of people got ideas and they want to do something with it. This is the opportunity for you. Right here. Right here.
And I just want to big up the person who helped you, Chef. Tamara McHale. Yes. She interviewed you. She felt this was a story that needed to be documented, and she took on the mantle of working with BambuSparks to make sure it was well documented and published. So do not say I can't write. It's not about the writing, it's about the story. Somebody would say it's about the story, stupid.
You know,
there are people who will help you to document it, even if like you may not write it like Mr. Nicholson or Linley, but you can tell it. And we can preserve your voice and record that story for you. Go ahead, Chef, and then over to Mr. Nick.
Yes, as I said, anyone who are listening, we want to encourage them because we know that there's a lot of people have a lot of ideas, but they don't know where to start from. Okay, so this is a very powerful platform, and we have you right there, Ruth, to help them to publish their story. So reach out to Ruth, and you know you can help, and you can reach out to any one of us, and we can help you and tell you where to go to get the right thing to be done right here. And we have your Ruth to do everything for them to publish their story. So I know that, and I believe there's a lot of people got a lot of story need to get done, but they don't know where to start. But tonight I will mention it in my show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Final words to our senior statesman. What can you say to inspire somebody to write, and what does legacy mean?
Ruth, what a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Well, in Chef's case, what a wonderful Sunday night.
Definitely.
But and there I am. I'm in the presence of a poet. Oh, wonderful. I'm in the presence of a chef. Oh, this is such a wonderful afternoon. And the way they have spoken about legacy offerings, I don't really have to go very far. I can't go much further. But, you know, to make life worthwhile, living, for my own sake, for my family definition, it is always, I think it is really positive and meaningful to create something that can be passed on, something that lives, something that survives. Of course, it is better if it is something tangible, like a book. But it doesn't have to be tangible. It can be ideas.
Correct.
But it represents your views generally. And it must be something that perhaps enhances the reason for living. And it must contribute to the general well-being of a community, the well-being of the country, and if possible, the upliftment of mankind generally. Legacy building is really something to live for. It is something to be a part of.
Absolutely.
It is something that you just cannot ignore. Ruth, you are a conduit. You are helping us to express ourselves.
Absolutely.
And let me repeat, this has been, for me, an exhilarating Sunday afternoon, Sunday night to you, Chef.
Thank you so much.
You can bring me back again anytime, Ruth.
And
once you are going to bring me in the presence of persons such as these, may God bless them all. Bless you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen.
God bless you all. God bless you, Ruth. Continue on the path that you're on. I mean, for me, this has been a wonderful experience. I mean, and based on what I've heard, it has been a wonderful experience for Chef Ricardo as well, for Mr. AJ Nicholson as well. So you have three persons here saying it has been a wonderful experience. So we want to thank you, and we want to continue on the path that you're on. And I'm hoping persons who are listening will want to say, I want to write, let me contact Ruth.
Definitely. Part 2, please.
Amen.
Come with part 2.
Part 2. And that's one of the reasons for doing this. As Thelma said, a very interesting and engaging show, Coach Ruth. Thoroughly enjoyed what I heard. She said she just sent the link to her 13 book writing mentees. This should motivate them to complete their small non-fiction books. So mission accomplished. Excellent. In that sense. You guys have been excellent. I am inspired. And today we are in BambuSparks. We are making official what has been emerging, that we are the go-to publishing company, self-publishing company for Caribbean legacy builders.
Excellent.
And I'm going to showcase to the world now our brand new website so that you can see and be inspired. It's not yet done, but we are the Caribbean legacy builders. So if you have a book to honor a parent, if you have something you want to pass on from one generation to the next, if you want something to outlive you, this is the company I want to encourage you. You heard it from them. Come to BambuSparks. So let me just take you through the website so that you can have a look at our website and get in touch with us.
Definitely.
All right, here we go. So it's Publish Your Legacy Books with Us. Are you guys seeing it on the screen?
Yes.
All right. So you see there, you have Mr. Nicholson, myself. We are presenting books to the National Library. As a Jamaican publishing house, it is our legal responsibilities to deposit books published in our name at the National Library. So if you're an author, it's your legal duty to deposit that book to preserve the history. And if there's any challenge in the future, you can always pull on it. It goes in their database. So we know that self-publishing is easy, but we want to give you a salon approach. I can do my nails, I can braid my hair, but sometimes you want, it isn't done so well. So you want to go to the professional where you can relax and get it done. That's what we're trying to offer you in BambuSparks. Everybody can take out their phone and take pictures. But when you want the picture to be of a certain quality, you go to the professional. And so we're saying for busy career professionals, retirees, first-time authors who find publishing to be daunting, we are here to serve you and produce a book you can be proud of in 3 to 6 months. And look at it. With Chef's book, we went from idea to book, I think, in 5 months.
Wow.
Doing so well. And it's not just Jamaica. It's if you're a Caribbean person, wherever you live in the diaspora, whether you are in England, whether you are in Canada, Timbuktu, because Caribbean people are everywhere. You want a company that will understand your language and your culture. BambuSparks is it. And it's different kinds of books. So we have here on the screen, you're seeing a scientific memoir. We're seeing Refugeism on Rastafari, I believe. So we have Dr. Ricketts, who turned their dissertation into a book, and their life of helping children with disability. We are seeing Mr. Tuller here. We are seeing Howard McGowan, who took his years of working in entertainment journalism.
That's right.
Documented his story. We see Linley there, remembering Jamaica, Western Jamaican life there. So it's different kinds of book. We see Reverend McLean there. He turned a series of teaching on-air broadcasts, 15-minute broadcast teaching sessions into a book that will be a legacy book. We have Dr. Simone Badal McCreath, a scientific memoir documenting the historic discovery of the Caribbean first cell line to help develop products to cure prostate cancer. We have educators there. We have Dr. Angela Brooks, her book is coming out in 2 days on Amazon, documenting the story of overcoming the loss of her son, Aaron. And she is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecution. So your book doesn't have to be in your area of expertise. It can be a memoir. I have here my Cuban family, the Medina family in Cuba, their book, sharing their testimony. And so these are examples of legacy books. And it's easy to get in touch with us. Just go to the page, complete the consultation form. You can just click. These are actual links. So click on them. Book a free publishing consultation, clarity call for 30 minutes. Message us on WhatsApp. We are online. So don't take up the phone and just call us, because as creatives, we are engaged in deep work. We're an online boutique company. We take about 40 authors every year. And so it's a first come, first serve, and based on the kind of book you want to put out. We are approved by the Alliance of Independent Authors. That is a global body that governs independent authors and the self-publishing industry. I am the Caribbean representative. And so we have the Publishing Spark. We also do digital marketing and distribution. We can get your book into at least 17 online stores if you take that package. And our new packages start with a book of 15,000 words. You're going to get 10 print copies. You're going to get everything you need, editing, design, all the features. Chef's book was about 10,000 words. And so this is a complete package. We specialize especially in small books, though we take bigger books. But our basic package starts at up to 15,000 words, which can give you a small, valuable book. And it starts at 2,500. You get everything you need. And if you, depending on the number of words, every additional 1,000 words, that's $50. And then we have the Legacy Premium that includes the marketing. And so we will help to market the book for 2 months after publication, help you sell your first 100 books, help you get some media features. And we have somebody who will work with you, a manager to guide you through the process. And who knows, your face could come on the page and you might be in our next Legacy Builder live. So we want to encourage you. We want to encourage you to get in touch with BambuSparks, www.bamboo.sparks.com, so that we can help you to grow 90 feet tall with your book. Wow. Any closing words as we wrap up? Any final words?
My final word, I'm so happy.
Can't say much better than that. Really, yes. But really, no. This has been an experience, definitely. Wonderful experience. And wow. Thank you very much, Ruth. Good to meet you, Linley. Good to meet you, Chef. God bless you.
It's so nice to meet you guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, good meeting you guys. All the very best. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening, everybody. It's time to write your legacy book and leave something for the next generation to thrive.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.